Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 937. I'm Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
It's funny how this happens. This has happened basically every week since a year ago, or maybe no, since I don't know, May or something like that. It says, oh boy, well, there's no real thing happening like an episode to review or an interview or a mini scope or a commentary. Are we going to be able to fill an episode with just talk? And it always fills up. It always fills up. There's so
thanks RTD.
So there's lots of stuff to talk about every single week in Doctor Who land. Even though the 60th anniversary has come and gone, even though there's no new episode this week of Doctor Who to talk about, we'll still have a whole bunch of stuff to mention. We're on YouTube, by the way, and if you're watching this on YouTube, we're on a podcast. We're usually a podcast, but we've been porting our episodes over to YouTube for the past few years with just a trouble slide. It's basically an audio recon of an RFF's episode has been on YouTube. So we thought, well, now that we're recording these things on video, we might as well just shoot them over to YouTube. So check them out. We put up images and stuff like that, so you can see what we're talking about. Show. Yeah, it's a proper TV show.
Anybody under 25 is like just rolling their eyes into the back of their head right now.
Yeah,
look out for the spinoff. Warren reacts to things.
No, we will. You keep looking because that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. We have to do a photo session where we each register our shocked reactions, our angry reactions,
confused reactions,
too woke.
Too woke. Yeah, in 144 point font in the thumbnails, so people will click on it. And
here's
watch.
My reaction: not woke enough.
No, I saw one that had like so my reaction to this, and I fell for it. I clicked on it. It says, it's not controversial at all. But you suckered me. You suckered me on the thumbnail.
I believe that's called lowest common denominator.
That's true. You won't find that on us. We are a reputable Doctor Who journalism organization here at Radio Free Skaro.
Well, I actually am a journalist, but not for
right. Exactly. We try to maintain some level of professionality. Is professionality a word? Is that
it is now.
It is professionalism.
Professionalism to professionalism.
Let's professionalize.
And beyond.
Yeah. Anyway, so the whole bunch of Doctor Who stuff, of course, with the Ncuti Gatwa era officially taking off this week because there was the premiere and everything and the launch, and he was on various shows and stuff. We'll get to that. But first, we look 2 months ahead to the day that we record this on the 16th of December. 2 months from now is Gallifrey One, the 34th edition in LA, California, of course, and it was announced this past week that Sir Derek Jacobi will be headlining Gallifrey One, a Knight of the Realm who was in Doctor Who like once and several big Finish stuff, but he loves this this community so much that he's
Claudius. I will finally watch it because of this.
Me too. I watched Eric and I watched it for like the first 8 episodes, and then we just fell off for some reason, and then we never went back. This is years ago. This is pre-COVID-19 global pandemic. And so we're gonna go back and watch it. Chris, have you watched Claudius by any chance? No, you gotta watch Claudius.
And just the direction alone, the multicam direction is something to behold.
Somebody posted a video not long after Claudius showed up again on iPlayer, because they aired all the episodes on BBC4 a couple months ago, and just like. So there's one scene with Brian Blessed, and it's just like the whole thing is just shown in one
it's a one
camera swoop. It's a one take, and it's just
so
amazing,
good.
So good. And Derek Jacobi is in it, so that's exciting. So yeah, Derek Jacobi will be there. Have interview panels on Friday and Saturday. Diamond package.
Script reading. I don't know if that's separate.
readings might be there. Photos, Warren, you said you might actually break down.
I'm looking at it right now. The only other one I've ever gotten is Nichelle Nichols. I'm like, come on, there's a legend. I got to get her autograph and her picture. So I did. So I'll do that with probably, unless it's some outrageous amount of money, I'll do it with Derek Jacobi, because it's Derek Jacobi. Come on.
It's Derek Jacobi. Exactly.
That's Professor Yana and nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. He's the best part. Once he turns, once Utopia actually, he
he's a pretty cool master for the 10 seconds he's the master too.
Oh, he's amazing as the master. Just amazing as the master, and as Yana, and he's great. Derek Jacobi is great. So
there's a reason Utopia is one of my absolute all-timers.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, Gallifrey One tickets still available, of course. February 16th to 18th at the LAX Marriott. We booked our flights.
Finally,
this past week. I know we
have to do it.
I almost forgot about them. First off, but then I thought, oh yeah, we have to actually fly down there because they change every single year and they're less convenient this year.
I usually get them after Christmas because they're slightly cheaper. That's probably what I'm gonna do now.
Yeah, so it's kind of annoying. So, look out for that, folks. I mean, we used to have we do have a direct flight, but they keep changing the times, and it used to be nice. It used to get in at like 1 p.m, which means we could fly down on a Wednesday, but now like they changed it. You got to fly in like at 7 p.m. or something like that. And
what is this nonsense?
I know. So
Hollywood North, I can fly back and forth fairly easily.
That rhymed, Warren. That rhymed, and you knew it rhymed. So,
but that's what Vancouver is. It's a service station for Hollywood. So the bonus for me is that I can fly relatively cheaply and quickly down to LA.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So there you go. Gallifrey One happening in 2 months' time. We'll be there, of course, interviewing, probably doing things on stage, all that yet to come. But let's talk about Ncuti Gatwa on Doctor Who. So he was on the Graham Norton show on Friday.
I know who nobody else is in this picture.
Imelda Staunton was on there, Jamie Dornan. I can't remember the Scottish fellow's name, but he was very entertaining, and I can't remember the jazz singer who sang the Christmas song. And then Ncuti Gatwa.
Jack Loudon.
Jack Loudon. He's in that
from Slow Horses.
Slow Horses show. Apparently the spiritual successor to the Sandbaggers. But not shot in the style of the Sandbaggers, and therefore I haven't watched it. But
can I just say Ncuti's
shot in like 4K and stuff. So
yeah. Oh yeah, they were sparkly pants, and he had heels. They were like proper heels, like which were like part and parcel for what people were wearing in the 1970s. He is 5'9".
Okay.
I've discovered this week that he is 5'9". Is
because Tennant's definitely taller.
Tennant is about 6 feet. Capaldi's about 6 feet. Let's just go through the heights of the Doctors. Tom Baker's 6'3". Pertwee was 6'2", I think. 6'3", maybe? I don't know. Troughton, very short. I forget how short Patrick Troughton was when you think about how short Fraser Hines is, and then you realize that when you look at him and Troughton on screen together, that Troughton must have been very short indeed. Anyway.
I don't like where this is going at all.
No, I know. That's right, Warren. You're like, what, 5'7", 5'8", 5'9"?
5'7".
Oh, you actually are kind of short. I thought you were 5'10".
You can go to hell, by the way.
Anyway, Ncuti Gatwa was on Graham Norton. It
was fun.
I thought he felt a little bit nervous. I think he was a little bit nervous.
Well, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal there, and I think maybe he's a little bit shell-shocked by it all. It'll be interesting when he comes back in a year's time, probably.
Oh, yeah.
For the next Christmas special. Or
I just remember watching, and this is going way back, when Beck came out with his first album, he was on Much Music, and he was just as much of a weirdo, awkward, didn't know how to be interviewed guy. And then the next album, Odelay, smooth as hell. Like he'd figured out how to do all this phony baloney music stuff.
Yeah. Graham Norton's a weird thing in that everyone comes out and they're there the whole show, and so and Norton has to sort of go back and forth between them, and then sometimes the natural rhythm of a conversation will actually be the thing that determines who's going to show up. And it was what's his name, Jack Loudon and Jamie Dornan, who were kind of like the tag team there a little bit.
But it feels more natural doing that than having the way it's sort of like an assembly line, like it is with any American show, and probably plenty of British ones too. Yeah,
well, I remember when Jodie Whittaker was on Graham Norton for the first time. She was on the same show as Kevin Hart and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That's got to be an intimidating.
They
trio.
hogged the whole show. Like it was just
I mean, how
all
can
them.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson not just by dint of his charisma do that? I mean,
yeah, they were plugging some movie or other. I don't know what it was. The Jumanji movie? No, it wasn't even Jumanji. It was
Jungle Cruise, maybe. No. It was because they were in a movie together. I can't remember what it was.
They were in a movie together. I can't remember which it was. Anyway, they hogged it all, and so it's that's the danger you get, sort of thing. So I felt Ncuti was a little reserved, perhaps, compared to other things that I saw him on this past week. But anyway, they showed a clip. They showed a brief clip of him running along the rooftop and jumping on a ladder and introducing himself properly to Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday.
Had about 4 or 5 seconds more stuff than the officially otherwise released one from the BBC.
Oh my! Well, I didn't notice that.
Oh, wow. 5 seconds, you say? Well,
wow.
Somewhere in there.
What could it mean?
What could it mean, indeed? Who knows? Yeah. Disney even had they dropped a trailer, a teaser, well in advance of the BBC. I think it's showing up on the BBC now, but Disney actually put it out first. I thought, oh, is this going to signal the ramping up of the Disney, publicity for,
or just lack of communication?
Yeah, like they had the big photo they came out with this. We posted this on our Facebook page, and like thousands of likes for a Disney image of Ncuti Gatwa.
Disney agitprop.
Yeah, everyone trying to sort of decipher what the symbols are on
Those
his
are cool.
fingernails. I know, I can't quite tell. I think they're Gallifreyan astrological signs.
The little
or
moon
something
thing
like
looks Gallifreyan. Or they could be astrology symbols. I don't
They're
know.
not. Well, I know that Ncuti Gatwa is big into astrology, and I think they might be sort of based on that, but also sort of made Gallifreyan.
Gallifreyish, yeah.
It's one Gallifreyish, so to speak. Yeah. So anyway, that's what happened. Ncuti Gatwa was also interviewed by Lizo Mazimba, trusted source, BBC source, Lizo Mazimba, on the BBC website. Links in the show notes if you want to.
I wonder, is Mazimba actually a Doctor Who fan, or did he just get saddled with this gig and he's sick and tired of it?
No, he's been there since like the show came back.
Yeah, I feel like he probably is a fan.
Yeah, I feel like he's quite a fan. Yeah. Feel like he is. Also, Blue Peter. Anybody watch the Blue Peter? Even though we're not allowed to watch Blue Peter. Yeah, Chris, you watched.
I'm not allowed. Why would I do that?
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. So there's. This is the great thing.
Or part of it was.
Part of it was on YouTube. But no, they had a little kid who won the contest, the design a monster contest. I don't think we saw the monster though, did we? I don't remember if we saw the monster.
It'd be great if it was just the Absorbable off again. This kid just cribbed the Absorbable off drawings.
Just like, here's the thing. It's called Sad Tony or something like that. Yeah.
The BBC put that part on YouTube so anybody can watch it. But for the full episode, the episode kicks off with a dance number to the Doctor Who theme.
Yeah.
Which
kids got to learn about interpretive dance sometime, Chris. So it's
cringe.
Yeah.
People like to criticize the Absorbable, and it is not a great monster. But having said that, how cool is it for that kid who is now an adult that the monster they came up with is on TV forever? And this kid's gonna have the same experience. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true. I love that. Like there's the 10-minute YouTube version. I think is partially the stuff that was on Blue Peter, but also other stuff. I think too. Like basically, there's even VAM for Blue Peter now in this new age of Doctor Who. Like it's all, as we discovered on the weekend that the Star Beast aired, it's like there's a lot to keep track of in Doctor Who these days.
Not like the old days of 2017 where there wasn't anything to keep track of on the show.
Yep. There was a media screening as well, which happened on the Monday. There's a big premiere. Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson lit up the London Eye.
How much did they cut off from the end for the? Was it 20 minutes again?
No, I think the full episode. I feel like they're not as worried about spoilers for this one. I think everyone watched the full episode. So the whole thing's
I'm sure they'll sneak in some stuff for the next season, but it's a Christmas show. It's not going to be like the giggle.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not really. It's a start of a thing. So yeah. So I'm not sure if the reviews have dropped for that. I haven't checked. I'm trying to keep pure a little bit because I know a lot of people went to the screening and a lot of people have been writing spoiler-free reviews and stuff like that. But yeah. So that also happened. I'm not getting to the song yet. I want to talk about the new Sonic Screwdriver. This dropped literally on the Sunday. So we recorded last episode.
Minutes after we did it.
Yeah, we recorded the last episode on Saturday nights for us after the Giggle aired, and they actually unveiled the new sonic screwdriver was the next day, and it's different. It's way different. It's,
no! What do we do? It's different.
It's like, which I'm like seeing Ncuti Gatwa hold it. Like I had to think like which way is the way to hold it and everything is.
It kind of reminds me of the pre-iPhone days when people would design the craziest looking phones.
Right.
And it's like around 2006, 7 around then. And that's kind of what this looked like at first to me, like a Nokia that somebody cooked up in a lab that never got sold.
Yeah. It's I want it. I didn't get tenants. I didn't get the 14th Doctor one. And now
it's
I
cool
feel
looking. I like that it's different. I'm like, at first I was like, that doesn't look like a Sonic. I'm like, well, good, whatever. Who cares if it doesn't look like a Sonic? Why can't it be different? It's just a device.
Yeah, Chris, do you have any thoughts and ideas on Sonic? No, nothing at all.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird that it's like a paddle.
Yeah, it's more of a paddle.
More than the, like a cylinder like we've had before. I'll wait to see it in action, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Is seeing it in action.
The short video that they put out was kind of cool.
I love the proverb on it. The
proverb there. Yeah.
The Rwandan thing. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, the sharpness of the warrior. No, the sharpness of the tongue beats the sharpness of the warrior is what it roughly translates to in Gallifreyan.
It's a little more profound than Sam Jackson's inscribed purple lightsaber, which I won't go into, but figure it out. Just Google that.
Right, yeah.
Which I do love. I'm not criticizing it, but this has got a little more heft to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, much like Sam Jackson's lightsaber, this has a purple thing.
That's true.
Purple crystal.
It does too. Yeah. Which is kind of cool. Yeah, the video is pretty cool, actually. Links in the show notes, radiofreeskaro.com. You can check it out for yourself. It's kind of neat. I wonder if it'll be on sale sometime. I mean, honestly, Christmas was the time to have it on sale, but maybe they just didn't. But they shot it a year ago. You should be ready.
The way this is designed lends itself to hand tricks in a way that other Sonics don't. So you can just flip it around in his hand. I don't know if you will, but you could. There's a lot of stuff you could do with it.
Yeah, and the little dial in the middle there with the Gallifreyan symbol. I guess, you know what? I guess I didn't realize that they've actually made a language out of the Gallifreyan symbols. I know that it's obviously they've been using the symbols for a while, but like I didn't know somebody made a proper like Klingon, like Mark, what's his name, who made the Klingon language.
Well, that's a legit thing for linguists to do. Why the hell not? I mean, isn't most of Lord of the Rings? Well, actually, didn't Tolkien himself do that? Create Elvish
stuff? Yeah.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, for the movies, for the draft novels, which they finally made into a movie, thus people could actually
I'm just going to ignore that giant delicious steak you just dropped in front of me.
Enjoy it. Also, what happened after, and we knew this was happening after our review of the Giggle last week, was the Goblin song was dropped on the Monday morning.
Yeah.
In the UK and on streaming services. Hit #1 in the charts in the UK that week. I don't know if it finished at number week, but it certainly was up there the day and the day after it dropped. I think it even beat out Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
So there is good in this world.
There is good, yeah. Knocked off Mariah Carey. It was #1 of the charts. All the proceeds going to children in need. There's even the video, which is just basically the scene from the episode where it happens, which honestly was reassuring because the song happens while action is, so it's diegetic.
Yeah.
Which means it's acceptable for non-musical fans.
Exactly. It's the Jabba's palace music. I can deal with this.
Yeah.
One question I have about, I don't know if I should wait until I actually see it to have it all in context, but in the song they talk about how they're going to eat a baby.
Yeah.
And it's going to feed everyone for 3 days. Mm-hmm. But what it seems like is going to happen is they're just going to feed the baby just to the Goblin King.
Don't think that through any further.
Yeah.
Does the Goblin King chew it and regurgitate it like a bird?
Like a bird does. Yeah, maybe
that's the least offensive option, and it's pretty offensive.
How do these goblins work? We must know.
I don't know. Watch the lyrics. I don't know.
It's not a good song. I'm just going to come out and say it. It's not a good song.
I wasn't keen on it.
I know other people are.
But I know people love it, so whatever. I'm not going to take away your fun, but it's not for me.
The silly Christmas #1 thing in Britain is big. Like, think of Love Actually and Bill Nighy's
Right.
song.
Yeah,
like,
okay, fair enough.
That's the thing. It has been thinking for a while, and
Right.
I don't know. It must be a cultural thing that I'm just not grasping.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? They also like pantomime in
Good
the
point.
UK.
Yeah. This is very pantomimey.
Oh no, they don't.
But
That's the thing. That's the thing on the panto. I've never seen a panto. We don't have that in North America for the most part. Have you seen? Did you ever
here and there? There's some here and there. But
were you ever when you lived in the UK, Chris, all those years ago? Were you ever in the UK for Christmas time and thus went to any pantos?
Oh, yeah, a couple.
You did?
Yeah.
Really? What were they like? I'm curious. As a cultural,
warmer than here is the main thing.
No, I mean not Christmas.
Like culturally,
pantomime. Yeah,
Yeah,
I never went to a
pantomime.
pantomime or anything like that.
Oh,
No, sorry.
that's what I wanted you to do. Yeah, just curious
I
about
was,
it.
I was mostly too preoccupied with when the weather would hit, like, -1, -2, and just laughing at all the Brits in 18 layers of jackets.
that sounds
Yeah.
exactly like Vancouver.
Yeah, well, it's
Although I'm one of them now, being a wuss.
Well, it's kind of like what it is here now. If you're wondering what the weather's like in Edmonton, it hasn't got very cold.
Everybody
Quite
is. Well,
mild.
actually, I am because I'll be there in a week.
Yeah, you will
Quite
be.
mild so
yeah.
far.
Yeah, war. Oh boy,
Theoretically, I'll be there in a week.
we have plans, folks. We have plans for an RFS get together, the first time in years. But there's been kiboshed by weather and
disease
COVID
and
over the
weather.
last-
So what's the next horseman of the apocalypse that's going to get us? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to know. It can't be good.
What, plague, pestilence, famine, and what's the other one?
Death.
Death?
Not death. No, death.
I'm a little hungry.
Plague. You're a little hungry. Yeah,
So
war.
there's famine.
Yeah, Ward will just collapse out of hunger because he didn't have his crackers on the plane over or something.
Exactly.
Like that. Yeah. Anyway, Doctor Who's all over the media as well these days. I want to talk about the Goblin song a little bit. That's what I wanted. You know what? For some reason, I don't know. The song never isn't as catchy to me. We'll get to it a little bit, but
No, it seems clunky.
Ncuti Gatwa was on Zoe Ball's radio show, and his reaction to them actually playing on a BBC Radio 2 is my favorite thing about it, because he cackles. He cackles because he can't believe that this song was going to be put out as a single, and I think he just thought it was hilarious. So,
And radio is a big deal over there, comparatively speaking. So,
it's huge, yeah.
culturally.
I know, and honestly, you know what the weird thing is that the whole time I'm trying to think over this past week of trying to get that song in my head, and all I keep thinking about is the song they made for the Dalek two-parter, "The Devil in Me," I think it was called. You know, the little dancing.
right,
scene.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a song that's been stuck in my head, not the Goblin, the one that Murray Gold wrote from like 15 years ago, 16 years ago now. That's what's in my head.
The Dalek two-parter is a good barometer of, okay, I hope RTD doesn't do this.
Yeah.
Because it was not good.
No, but that song could have been a single because it's still stuck in my head, and the Goblin King is not. It's not in my head. So, yeah,
Pardon me.
that's all right, Chris. That's all right. We're all fighting through stuff. I know the Goblin King gets hell. Warren coughed on a fluid link. So
I did.
yeah,
That was just a
choked
dry
up.
throat, but
that was a dry throat. Yeah. So I hope you're enjoying the fluid links, by the way. The fluid links avid calendar that's been happening as it usually does over the course of the Warren reflexively takes a drink. And
I did
prevents
indeed.
himself from.
that was the
from
first
having-
fluid link, so I solved the problem early.
Got it out of the way. Yeah. Anyway, Millie Gibson was interviewed as well by Paul Kirkley. Paul Kirkley, a friend of the show, with the Waitrose weekend, which is like a free magazine in Waitrose, the store in Waitrose.
Which
So
that's like a grocery store, right?
it's
Yep.
it's a grocery store, and there's a magazine, and Millie Gibson was photographed and interviewed for it. Like, it's everywhere. Doctor Who's everywhere again. It's kind of fun and interesting.
Good
So-
photo of her where she's looking upwards.
I know, it is kind of neat, and it's free. It's free for those. It's free online, so you can just read it. Which is why we posted screen grabs on this YouTube version, because it's not like, well, if it's just free, there you go. But links in the show notes there, unless you want to pause the video, and then you can read it there, but you don't have to do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. There's an interesting. So Chris put this in late last night. There's a profile on Painting Practice in the Broadcast Now website about their work on the 60th anniversary specials, Chris. What was all this about? Do you want to run this through this? Because
I haven't even read it.
I did read it like 20 minutes ago. So yeah, basically just
Warren, tell us about it. What's going on here?
It just goes through what they've done for post-production and like the Infinite Corridor and Wild Blue Yonder and all the other effects they had to do, and how the thing that struck me is they filmed this in 2022 and they're like, yeah, our due date was 2023. They didn't say when, but presumably it was like sometime in the summer. I'm like, the amount of time it takes to do this stuff, it still takes forever to do, no matter how people think you can just dash it off with AI or whatever. Like it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing though, like for things like this is, you think, I don't know how, Toy Story 1995, computer rendered. Think of how long it must have taken them to do all that
per frame. It took about a day,
almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It hasn't really gotten any faster.
No, just more complicated.
It's gotten a lot faster.
Yeah.
But it's also gotten a lot better, a lot more detailed, a lot more whatever.
Nature abhors a vacuum.
Still kind of have comparable production timelines.
Yeah.
Also, the headline that we have in our news list, every time I see, even though I've read the article, profile on painting practice makes me think it's like some PBS painting show like Bob Ross.
Painting
every
practice,
time I see it
does feel like what is it? So they just like, is it
profile on painting practice, a WGBH production, 1978.
Yeah. Well, maybe they would have rethought their company name had they known they were going to get this big and work on Doctor Who for their 60th anniversaries, but. Anyway, that's very interesting stuff. As you know, we like to go behind the scenes on making of TV in this, and it's so is Russell T Davies. It's fascinating to he's the VAM for Blue Peter and everything else, and it's like he clearly loves TV, and he knows that people like him. He probably wanted to watch stuff like this when he was a kid, and it wasn't around, and so
you got like who's Doctor Who, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that was it. That's everyone held their hat until the making of Silver Nemesis in '88, and that's what I watched, and that's what got me fascinated in this whole thing.
If it was currency, it'd be very rare back when we were kids. You're just like, how do they do it? Like I'd read Starlog to figure out the stuff.
Yeah, and so now it's just all over the place. So good job, Russell T Davies, in making stuff like this popular again. People watching the making of this Blue Peter thing will probably grow up and think, I'm gonna direct Doctor Who because of what I saw.
And then they direct Blue Peter.
Yeah, they just end up directing Blue Peter. Yep, exactly. All right, we sworn off stats, by which I mean we just swore off the theme song basically. But we'll give you the Giggle BBC One overnights for 4.62 million 85 AI for what that's worth.
Lowest overnight, highest AI.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, of the three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did see RTD mention on his Instagram that I think the Star Beast is over 9 now, because the number keeps growing.
I mean, not to encourage this kind of behavior, but isn't that generally how it works? That premieres and then there's slowly a top up. Like with books, that happens too. The first book is always the biggest seller, and then as you get through a trilogy, they tend to sell less as they go, and it's kind of the same thing with this.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. But it's still growing though, is what I mean. The number is still growing because people are watching it in their own time, because that's how people watch TV these days.
But the official figures are just that first week.
Yeah, the first. They don't. There's the 28-day thing as well, isn't there?
For Barb, I think it's just the 7 days. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure.
Again, every time I hear that,
Barb is supposed to be batting an old computer.
I'm busy here
with the broom. Yeah.
There's an article I read on Medium.com, which I didn't put in the show notes, talking about stats and I don't know if it actually mentioned Barb or not, but anyway, how viewing figures are collated and whatever in the UK, and nothing. I don't think it's anything I didn't know, but yeah, I mean, as we've said a bajillion times in the last few years, overnights are utterly irrelevant.
Yep, they really are. They absolutely are. It's not like it's less a broadcast time than a release time,
Hidebound trapping of a bygone age.
Yeah, kind of is. I mean, people like us will watch it. I mean, on the Disney press release, it says that the Christmas special drops at 9:55 Pacific, like the exact same time. Now it's just become standard. Like we can just accept that Doctor Who's going to just drop / air at the exact same time all around the world. It's pretty great. Except in Ireland, of course, but
somewhere this week there was like the 10th most watched thing on Disney overall, which I don't care about stats, but that is a staggering amount of people.
It got to I want to say it got to 7th.
Yeah, and that's 150 million people subscribed to Disney Plus. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be able to watch Doctor Who. And this is, let's face it, this is without Disney properly giving it a promotional boost because they're kind of waiting for Ncuti Gatwa's first season to do that.
I have a real world example of this. I went for a Christmas potluck with friends of mine. One guy who'd never really watched Doctor Who, he saw the specials and he asked me about it. And he said, "Oh, what are these all about?" I'm like, "Okay, you can watch those if you want, but I would recommend if you're gonna just start with Doctor Who, just start with this new Ncuti Gatwa thing because that's the reboot. It's gonna be a soft reboot anyway. And if you like it, you can go back to that. You can go back to whatever you want. I can point to whatever you want to see, but start with this because it's a sort of a new beginning of the show for people like you who haven't seen it yet."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll be intended that way too. I mean, I get the feeling that just because of this bi-generation thing, like the who am I sort of thing, am I going to, I got to reference what happened to me just now and I've just regenerated and why am I wearing these old clothes? I feel like Ncuti Gatwa is just going to, I haven't seen the thing people have because they went to the premiere. Yeah. I just feel like it's just going to start. Like the post-regeneration crisis is gone. It will not be a direct pickup from what happened in the giggle,
I also imagine there's going to be probably nothing for flashbacks to Tenet.
Yep.
Or the specials.
I think something down the road maybe, but not now.
Yeah, it's just gonna start and it's gonna go from there.
Just like RTD did in the first place, more or less, except the time which he invented cold cloth anyway.
Yeah. He mentioned it was something that happened, but we didn't know about the time, and we watched the show for years before that. So, anyway, following up on stats, Wild Beyond to the final BBC One viewing figure was 7.14 million, 9th on the UK TV for the week, which probably means it was behind Strictly and Corey or something like that.
Strictly came in first, and then the next 7 slots were I'm a Celebrity.
Good God, really?
Oh, that's depressing.
That's
2 through 8.
That is astounding. But I tell you what, the overnights, I mean, the 7 days for those were probably not at all a patch on what Doctor Who did.
I can't say I've looked for stuff like that, but as we've talked about a bajillion times, things like I'm a Celebrity, Strictly, things like that, Strictly results, those are time sensitive. Those are, if you don't see it, then people at work the next day are going to talk about it, and you're going to feel left out and annoyed or whatever. And so people, those are the appointment viewing things that still exist.
There's a couple cultural biases here because we are in Canada. We get a bunch of American media. We tend to take on their attitudes towards entertainment, and their attitude to entertainment and generally is that the Brits are much more cultured than we crude Americans are. But then you see what Brits actually watch, and you're like, no, they're not. Look at this. I'm a Celebrity has 8 slots. Like, what is this?
7. But I mean, just even think of the BBC being the bastion of culture. Yeah. And then back in the day watching Doctor Who and seeing lead-in shows like don't scare the hair and tumble.
Yeah. And I'm sure if you went back far enough, if there's probably equally garbagey stuff. Well, actually, I can think of one that we'll never show now because it's bad. But a certain song show that
the black and white minstrel show. Yeah, that the BBC wishes they had missing episodes of, but they don't.
Why can't they have missing episodes of that?
I know. Come on. Can't you just do a trade? Can't you meet the devil at the crossroads or something? Listen, here's all the black and white minstrel shows.
These are very welcome in hell.
Give us Marco Polo. Actually, no, that one's also in a way it's kind of a minstrel show too. Okay, give us some Dalek thing.
Give us the Smugglers.
Give us the Smugglers. Can we please? Yes.
There's no winning this contest.
There's no racial insensitivity of the Smugglers.
I mean, the one we're giving away is far and away the winner, but
that's true.
You of being terrible.
Yeah,
but these other ones are strong contenders or strong-ish anyway.
It's odd. Yeah. All the BBC is a lot more light entertainment than I think we realized.
Yeah.
Until we see the stats thing, because we growing up when PBS would get Masterpiece Theater and all the good stuff, comedies, it would just they're just shipping us their best stuff.
Mystery or Masterpiece Theater.
Yeah, we never got Bruce Forsyth. We never got the Generation Game on PBS. You were stuck with that, England. So we never saw this. So we
just turning on British radio and going, Radio 1's all pop? I thought it was all cultural smart guys.
I know. No.
Nope. No, it is not.
Endless pop music. To that end, Ncuti Gatwa, as I mentioned before, was on with Zoe Ball, who's a big Doctor Who fan, and she always has they have Doctor Who intro, like Nick Briggs of the Dallas whatchamacallit, the voice basically to intro it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Was kind of cool. And Ncuti Gatwa was there. I listened to the whole thing because I think the BBC Sounds is available worldwide. I think
it is. Yeah.
It is, and anyway, I made my own supercut of just the Ncuti Gatwa bits and just listened to that. So it was very entertaining. He seemed a lot more comfortable, I think, on that than he was on Graham Norton. But it was also just him and Zoe Ball and a couple of people in the studio as well.
And radio is inherently more comfortable than video.
Yeah,
especially with a pile of lights on you and stuff.
Yeah, well, I did notice that they did have a YouTube short of Ncuti Gatwa talking about his. He said this on the radio, so I could say his psychic glove, which apparently features in the church on Ruby Road.
How does that work? Actually, I don't want to know. I'll know in a week, so whatever.
I thought that was a joke when I saw that.
Nope, an actual psychic glove.
All right.
It's going to feature in the episode. So
they're going to work a talk to the hand joke in.
Maybe they will. Maybe it's like that in Torchwood with the glove, the
resurrection glove.
The resurrection glove. That's
I don't think we need to mention Torchwood in anywhere near a new Doctor Who down, do we?
No, I guess not.
I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what it is, all that kind of stuff. But psychic glove gives me the willies a little bit, especially in the way that the Sonic sunglasses did.
I'm with you on that.
I just never bought into that.
No, neither did I.
I did.
It was a fun little gag, but it was also kind of stupid.
It was like a little smart glasses. It kind of works when you think about it, when he was like, there he goes, look at it there.
I mean, really, it's no more or less stupid than a sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
I mean, what are you going to do? Assemble a cabinet? But
we're used to the screwdriver. We've bought into that.
Yeah. We have indeed.
So, I mean, psychic paper, same thing. Like we saw that in at the end of the world for the first time, and it's like, oh, okay, that's such a Doctor Who thing. Okay, I'll accept that exists.
Yeah, and I did like in Star Beast. It says miss. Oh, it hasn't updated.
Yeah, stay updated. Yeah, which is funny. Hey, let's talk about physical media and its lack of availability in North America. Chris and I are both still waiting.
Otherwise known as our text chain.
Yeah, still waiting for our big giant Blu-ray sets.
Oh, God.
They apparently shipped from Ontario on December 7th. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't shown up yet. So,
nope. We're supposed to get them December 8th. Didn't happen. December 13th didn't happen. No. December 15th didn't happen. Still waiting. No idea where they are.
No idea.
My Amazon Prime comes tomorrow, and then it says delivered by Christmas right underneath it.
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow, maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. So that's there. But hey, at least apparently we could order it because the Church on Ruby Road Blu-ray /DVD is pre-order for UK only is available now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that we'll ever get this in the next year. Steve Manford very helpfully pointed out in a live chat last episode that I think Disney Plus has a deal where basically a year they have to wait until they can put something on Blu-ray for something that airs on Disney Plus. So we probably won't get any of Doctor Who on Blu-ray for the new series and stuff until next
quite a
year.
while.
Well, and they'll technically be a Disney DVD, right? Distributed through their arm, I would think.
That's a very good question.
BBC's got their own distribution. I don't know.
Yeah,
but why not use Disney's if you can?
Why not use your own? It's already in house.
Yeah,
I suppose
that's true.
One thing that we don't have is, like you say, it's on DVD and Blu-ray, but no Steelbook. That's a bit of a shift.
For the UK version, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, did they come up with those at the beginning, or do they say, "Hey, look at this. Now you can get it."
Usually announce them ahead of time. Yeah.
For the last, I don't know how many releases, or most of the last, I don't know how many releases. Right. It's been there from the get-go. So it'd be DVD and Blu-ray, and I mean the Steelbook has the Blu-ray, but you still get that different packaging and whatnot.
Yeah.
But nothing yet announced for Ruby Road.
No. Just to go back to, I know the 60th anniversary specials are on Blu-ray now, and
a lot of people in the UK have theirs already. Yep.
Yeah, and the cover for it was the artwork that was shown like before the specials even aired, and I actually had a look at it. We've posted it up on our YouTube channel right now as we're looking at it. I never noticed that the TARDIS roundels are there. Look at that the little. I never noticed that before. That was actually
like
telling
TARDIS door with the phone left of the Meep.
Yeah.
They were
This is
telling
a cool cover. I
well, yeah, I know. Yeah, there's bits of the TARDIS flying around, but the fact that the new roundels were there from the get-go in this artwork, I had no idea. They completely just teased us, and we didn't even realize. So,
well, that's because we had no context. We had no idea what they necessarily represent.
No,
as far as we know, they're just lights.
Yeah, but that artwork does feature on the Blu-ray for the 60th anniversary specials, which we do not have here in North America.
Not yet.
No. The BBC Books will publish the novelization of The Church on Ruby Road on January 25th. It's written by Esme Jacami Pearson with artwork by why can't I think of his name? Lee Binding. Lee Binding has put the artwork together for it, which is pretty cool. It's a nice little cover of it.
That's a cool cover.
The artwork on there and stuff like that. Oddly enough, it doesn't keep in with the sort of the faux Target book classic
or the Diamond logo.
No, they just have the word mark up there. Yeah, which I think still works.
It looks better on a book anyway.
It does look better. Yeah, it does look better on a book, especially on the top though. So yeah, that's coming out January 25th. There's also going to be an audio version coming out on the February 29th on CD as well. So audiobook version. I don't know if any of this is going to be available in North America. Don't add us if it is. No idea. No idea whatsoever. But if you want to read all that and listen to all that, you can do it. Speaking of books, though, they did pop out a extract of the Giggle Target novelization, and it's cool. It's written by James Goss, and the moment they basically posted a 2-page thing there, and the way they have it when they split into the bi-generation is cool. How they present it, they have like the left, the Tenant Doctor on one side and what he's talking about, what's happening to him, and the Ncuti Gatwa Doctor on the other side. And it's
2 different columns, basically.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
It's clever
the way they did that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Books can be clever, apparently, is what we're finding out.
Your anti-book jihad will never fail to disappoint me.
Yeah, didn't think that would be the case, but it is. It is indeed. Speaking of the Target books, so there is a 10 Target book collection available in the UK. It came out November 29th. It's finally available to ship again. We were looking at this last week, and this is currently unavailable. But Chris, apparently it's available now. Yeah, apparently it's available. Pirate Planet, City of Death, Crimson Ore, Day of the Doctor, Dalek, Fires of Pompeii, Rose, reading off the spines of the book, Age of the Light, Witchfinders, and Christmas Invasion, all available in one package for £30, basically. Yeah.
Yep.
But not here. Can't get
this. Yeah, because I think the books were, I don't know, 7 or 8 or 9, 10 pounds a piece.
Pounds each, so, really? Holy God!
So 30 quid for 10 of them is a good deal if you have a
good deal.
Yeah. Interesting. Well. Also, a book that is out is it's out now because it's past December 14th.
Children of the Circus with a capital I.
Children of the Circus with a capital I. Is
good old Chiron.
It's the audio the book version of the musical play, so to speak, the musical release, audio musical written by Kenton Hall, based on, of course, inspired by Greatest Show on the Galaxy. Christopher Guard is on the cover there, but he also participated in the thing. D. Snyder as well. D. Snyder is not on this. D. Sadler, however, is.
By the way, listen to interviews with D. Snyder. He's a very smart guy.
Yeah, is he now? Oh.
Yeah, he's a very intelligent man. And he has things to say about the right-wing tilt of America
that
he is not for. Well, so I'm immediately endorsing him for that reason alone.
Maybe D. Snyder would show up in Doctor Who if they remade Greatest Show in the Galaxy, potentially. No? Maybe?
I don't think they're going to recast at this point.
No.
He doesn't look like a headbang. He's kind of like Frank Zappa. He looks more like Frank Zappa did when he got older. Like more conservative, but definitely not a conservative.
Right. Anyway, you can get the novelization of the audio musical inspired by. It's written by Kenton Hall, as was the audio musical. So links in the show notes. You can get that off of Amazon. What else has happened? Magic the Gathering, the game I don't know anything about, but there are 60th anniversary cards are going to be available on April 28th. 6th with Rose Noble, the Meep, Celestial Toymaker.
Great art.
They called it Celestial Toymaker, not the Toymaker. 14th and 15th docks, all there for Magic the Gathering. However you play that game, you can do it now. Warren, explain it to me again.
Magic people are going to get mad at me, but from what I gather, it's basically the battle part of RPGs in card form.
Right.
Essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more to it than that, trading
what you
and value.
Gather, hey?
I didn't even, that wasn't even intentional, but like, it's like Warhammer. I took one look, said, oh, this would cost me God knows how much money.
Right.
There's no way I'm getting into this sinkhole of cash.
I know nothing about Magic the Gathering either, but I have already seen that some of the Doctor Who releases are already like astronomically priced and
right
and whatnot. So
that's part of the fun if you're a rich card buyer, I guess.
I mean, the same thing happens with hockey cards or Pokemon cards.
Yeah, take your pick
or whatever. So
or Funko Pops, presumably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I still have all my hockey cards from my youth. I love them. Love my hockey.
What about Carl Yastrzemski with the sideburns?
I don't have that. I also have some Star Wars cards. And
oh wow, I remember those. I don't have them anymore.
cards too. I got my ET cards as well.
Oh man. What a great scam, by the way. Just taking a cardboard card, putting a picture from a movie on it, and selling it to kids for God knows how much more money.
But you know what? Yeah,
and
go ahead,
how many people back in the day that this hasn't been done in forever would buy it for the crappy gum inside the package.
Oh, the gum.
The tongue-shattering, cheek-cutting gum.
Yeah.
But also, this goes back to when we were kids and you couldn't, there were barely VCRs. You couldn't watch a movie again. You would take any fumes you could, including telling the story through cards, including the Star Wars storybook, including a novelization that was wrong. Like all that stuff you'd do because nothing else.
Panini sticker books to build as well.
Love those.
Anything you could get.
But you know what? Like for some, it hit me at the time when I was 8 watching Return of the Jedi. The Sarlacc pit sequence remains my favorite sequence in movie history because I just loved it. It was like people falling out of stunt falls in the desert and a giant pit and lightsaber battles was awesome, right? As a kid. And I saw it in the theater and then didn't see it again until we got a VHS player like in 1986, right? So
3 years.
So 3 years. But my memory of that lived on because I had the trading cards of the telling of that scene, which probably covered about 4 different cards.
Yeah.
But those are that's how I saw that scene. My memory of seeing it once and then looking at the cards and reenacting it with both Star Wars figures and Lego figures as well, because I would build the Sarlacc pit sequence and just play it nonstop. So
here's my version of that with the novelization. In the novelization, which I recall was quite well written by somebody called James Caan, I think. Anyway, but they're talking about that scene and they're like, Luke was on the skiff laughing like a pirate king. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And then I watched it again and I'm like, no, he is not laughing like a pirate king. Also, that's not a Jedi thing to do. Also, how the hell would they know what a pirate or a king is?
That's right.
Why would they have either of those things in Star Wars?
Well, they might have pirates.
I guess they have pirates because of smugglers.
Get out of here, you pirate! His Lando.
Leia was a princess.
Yeah,
true. So fair enough.
They have royalty. They have
yeah.
But Pirate King does conjure a boat and not Han Solo in a boat.
Yeah.
Although Han Solo in a boat sounds pretty good.
While we're talking about Return of the Jedi, can I just air my one grievance about it? Is that in one shot when Peter Diamond is falling off as one of the Weequay guards, you can see that the other Weequay guard is standing on the skiff plank there, and he's like this. I know he's got a little brandishing hook, and then they literally the next shot they cut to, and he's gone. We lose his death scene. They edited it out, and
here's my
like in whatchamacallit, Doctor Who pirate story.
Yes, he just disappears. The curse of the black spot.
Curse of the black spot.
I also, one more thing, the shot where Luke spins around and drops down and jumps.
Yes, you're right about that. Yeah,
is mirrored. It's mirrored for some reason, and it always bugged me. And it's a weird shot. I blame Richard Marquand, the director.
My thing was seeing Time magazine, and you'd flip through, and they'd have stuff that's coming up, and they showed the second Death Star with very little explanation, and that was my first time going, oh, a movie series I love can let me down, because I was like, oh, another Death Star? That's all you got? Okay. And I was like 12 at the time.
Right.
And then Star Wars, it was good in a way because it let me down for future letdowns, of which Star Wars has given me plenty. So, although many other, not to pick on Star Wars, there's plenty of it, including Doctor Who, that have given me that. So
exactly. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for our brief respite into Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
Revenge of the Jedi.
It's Revenge of the Jedi.
Blue Harvest, I believe it's called.
Blue Harvest. Chris dropped this on us, so I'm calling him up for it because I don't know quite what it's about. Real Time Pictures is releasing Reverse the Polarity, starring Jon Pertwee. What is this, Chris?
This is like this bizarre thing.
A 3-pack of a thing.
It's one of those weird relics from the wilderness years where we had a lot of odd stuff.
We did.
Yep.
We did.
Like what I say before about stuff, you do anything with anything. Yeah. You just get that fixed.
So whether it's like the Stranger series or Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant kissing in the Arizona Solution.
Ew, gross.
Or the Stranger series with for some reason they're like naked in a mud bath or something together, something like that. Or
I don't know about that, but okay.
Sophie Aldred.
You sure
Colin
that's
Baker.
real, or did you just conjure that up yourself?
No, it's real.
This is apparently something to do with Jon Pertwee's appearance at the Virgin Megastore in March 1992. So
that is fumes. That's not even fumes.
Right.
That's like diesel fumes.
Right.
That's like putting $2 of gas into the tank and
yeah, exactly. That's perfect analogy.
Yeah. So Archangel Media, two Doctor Who fans, George Cairns and Liam Rudden, over few short years made 3 productions: Under the Hammer, which is the Bonhams auction of Doctor Who props and costumes in May 1991, Reverse the Polarity, this is Jon Pertwee's appearance in Virgin Megastore 92, and The Auction 93, a second auction filmed in July 93, and they've been remastered
now
and are available now to purchase from Reverse Polarity. Anyway,
let me just say I'll never watch these. I have zero interest, but it would be the height of hypocrisy for us to criticize this too much, because what do? The exact same thing. We get the deepest of deep dives, so we're no better, honestly.
No, it reminds me a little bit, Warren, of your remind me, because I'm just your interview that you did at CanCon.
Oh yeah, okay, the fan film one. Yes.
The fan film one about how like they made like movies, Doctor Who spin-off movies based on people on Doctor Who cruises. Basically, they would shoot stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen clips of these. Like it's amazing. Like there's like Sylvester McCoy enjoying a cruise. Like, can you say these lines into the camera? It's pretty vital for a Doctor Who fan.
I mean,
film.
that is the essence of indie cinema. Just getting something in the can any way possible. So I mean, really sure. I mean, and somebody out there wants to see this and is thrilled to bits that this exists. So fair enough.
Absolutely.
Not me,
that's true.
But somebody.
Yeah.
We're not here to kink shame. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Your kink is Auction starring Jon Pertwee. I mean, there are worse kinks than that.
That's true. You know, it's footage of Jon Pertwee.
It's also conflating the two videos, but yeah, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, they do go together.
He's got to be precise with this.
Yeah. Last bit of news, just a reminder, basically. The Imagine Russell T Davies, The Doctor and Me is coming on December 18th. For those of you watching BBC One, 10:40 p.m. It's like 75 minutes long. And I've heard from 2 people who've seen it thinking it's, including somebody from the Radio Times who put a review in saying, this is the highlight of the TV week, if you like Doctor Who and if you like TV in general. So... I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to hearing about it from people who are in the UK and will tell me about it and maybe send me off-air screen grabs or something like that, because that's the only possible way.
That's not getting tired at all.
Not at all. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, it's going to be very.
I'm just really curious to see Alan Yentob doing the thing. His checkered past with Doctor Who is.
Do they black bag him at the end of this thing and send him to an undisclosed location?
Yeah, is it that check? I mean, he is. Alan Yentob was what?
He was a proponent for the TV movie.
He was,
and
was he Grade's boss?
Production held that.
No, I think he succeeded Grade in
Okay,
some way. I don't know what his. I'm just guessing here at this point, but I know the famous outtake of him, because he was in 30 Years in the TARDIS with Kevin John Davies that he made, and then while they were making that, as he was, oh wait a second, I got to take this call, and it's literally he's talking about the TV movie and Spielberg being interested, like on the phone while the cameras are running, and he's talking about that, and that showed up in Ed Stradling's documentary, 7-Year Hitch,
which is excellent,
where we saw that. So whether or not that gets mentioned in this thing that's about Russell T Davies remains to be seen. Anyway, that's it for this week. Next episode is our live stream of review of the church on Ruby Road. It'll be Tuesday, December 26th. Yes, we're not doing an episode next Sunday because that would be ridiculous. It's Christmas Eve. Go have supper. It'll be at the time that we did our first 2 live streams at noon Eastern is when we'll show up, 5 p.m. in the UK. We'll be reviewing that, the Christmas special. So there you go. That is what's happening next week as we get to review another Doctor Who episode. The first proper episode in the era of Ncuti Gatwa. How about that? All right, kids. Until next time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.